Dating will become worse when Gen Alpha takes over. This is an important topic to discuss, guys. Make sure to stick with me till the end of this video because I want you to fully understand the implications of Generation Alpha and how the dating market that is already cooked will even become worse when Generation Alpha has grown up. So let's talk about this important topic, but we will do it right after the intro. Okay guys, let's talk about Generation Alpha. These bad guys that will ruin our world completely as soon I'm not kidding with you guys. These guys that will ruin our planet and society completely as they take over. There are different reasons, guys, why Generation Alpha will not only cook the dating market that is already cooked today, but it will even be much more cooked in the future because of them. But there are also reasons why they will ruin society completely. One reason why this will happen is social media or social media addiction, in other words. I know, guys, social media addiction is already an issue nowadays, but with Generation Alpha, it will be brought to a much different level because a big part, not all of them, of course, but a big part of Generation Alpha has also undergone the pandemic of 2020. And well, I don't want to say too much about this. I hope you know that the pandemic, the so-called pandemic of the year 2020, was actually nothing but worldwide a global IQ test. And the majority of mankind has failed this IQ test. But for Generation Alpha, it is a whole different ball game because many people of Generation Alpha had to live at home when school was skipped, when there was the homeschooling season, when there was no physical classes, and they were isolated at home. And well, what can I say? And this cooked most of them. Most of Gen Alpha people are already screwed for the rest of their lives because of the pandemic and the time they spent at home, isolated from friends, isolated from everything, just sticking to their tablets and smartphones and no idea what to do with their time. And also having no idea what is going on in the world and why everything is shut down, why everything is locked down, because an ever so dangerous virus, what is, yeah, basically not way more harmful than a regular flu. But this is a whole different topic, guys. So this is one thing. So I'm pretty sure that the events of 2020 expedited the social media addiction of Generation Alpha, also of Generation Z, Gen Z in some way. But the thing is, modern parents are too lazy to take care of their children by themselves. And compared with back then in the time when I was a child, I am a millennial. I grew up with video games. I grew up with TV, but I did not only watch TV and play video games. I also did a lot of sport. I was outside much. Nowadays, on the other hand, most parents simply place their kids in front of a tablet or a smartphone. They even babies already go yes, even babies and toddlers nowadays already got a smartphone, the latest iPhone, the latest iPad or whatsoever, and they keep scrolling. They are watching short-term content, all the short videos on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and also on other platforms like Instagram or sometimes even still Facebook. Their attention spans, this is no secret, their attention spans will be ruined. And this is also a reason why why Generation Alpha will be a huge problematic generation, because they will have a huge lack of emotional control. When their parents allow them to sit in front of the screen up to, I don't know, 8 or 12 hours per day, and they watch a lot of brain rot content and content that is basically destroying and ruining their attention spans, and they get highly addicted to dopamine and the dopamine kicks they get from watching videos endlessly. This will make Generation Alpha have a huge lack of emotional control. You can see it. There are tons of videos out there reporting how teachers at high schools and other schools are quitting their jobs because of Generation Alpha. This is not exaggerated. People in school, the teachers at many schools literally quit their jobs because of Generation Alpha. And when you think that and when you already think that Gen Z already has lots of problems when it comes to reading, writing, and other things, when it comes to terms of literacy, for Generation Alpha, believe me what I say, believe me what I tell you guys, for Generation Alpha, it will be even much, much worse. And if you ever wondered why so many people, I believe it was 80% or so, circa 80% of people in prison grew up in fatherless households, why are so many people from single mother households in prison? It is simple, guys, because think about it. When you grow up with a mother and you don't have a father in your childhood as you grow up, you are always exposed to mood swings and lack of emotional control. These are the things that are typically common for women. And when women are under much stress and pressure, as they typically are when they have to juggle with work life and raising children, this makes the women even have a higher lack of emotional self-control. And when you as a child, when you are opposed to mood swings, a lack of emotional control and so on by your parents, because you only grow up with a single mother, this will make you get raised in a way and make your brain develop in a way that you will also have this kind of lacking emotional control later in your life. And people who end up in prison, they typically, not always, but most times, these people can also not control their emotions. Because people who get violent, for example, and because of violence, they end up in prison someday, they only get violent because they have a lack of emotions. Or another example, let's say someone faces financial hardship, and as this person faces financial hardship, they are thinking about robbing a bank, robbing a store, whatsoever. The higher the emotions, the greater the lack of emotional control, the greater the chance that this person will realize that plan if this idea ever comes to mind. Well, and a lack of emotional control is also a huge issue in relationships and dating. Yes, this is certainly true, guys. A lack of emotional control is also a huge issue when it comes to dating and relationships, because you cannot have a harmonic and peaceful relationship if you never learned to control your emotions and to have inner peace with yourself, to be settled deep inside with yourself. And on top of this, there's also the problem with bad idols because you can see it when you scroll through TikTok, for example, or maybe sometimes also YouTube Shorts and basically any short form content when it comes to video content. There are so many dumb girls out there on social media who are posting any BS, any bullshit about shaming men, how toxic men are, and what a woman makes a good woman. And then they crank out any feministic ideas, how you can manipulate men and whatsoever. So especially for women, when it comes to women, the girls nowadays of Generation Alpha who are growing up, they will be completely screwed by watching a lot of this content on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or any other social media platform. They will watch the content of any dumb girls cranking out things like when you are in the forest, better choose the bear instead of a man. A man can, I cannot say the words now, otherwise I will get cancelled by YouTube. A man can RAPE you, and a bear can only kill you in worst case. Or things like men are full of thousands of eggs and so on. All this bullshit is what young girls nowadays, especially of Generation Alpha, are opposed to when they satisfy their dopamine and social media addiction by watching tons of videos on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, and so on. And all the models on Instagram, not only female models, but also male models. And they will believe, oh, okay, a man must be 6 feet tall, he must have a six pack, he must have big muscles, he must look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. And this will become the normal stereotype of how a man is supposed to look like. And also about women, there will also be more and more toxic stereotypes of how the female body is supposed to look like. And all this trash out there on the internet that already has ruined the life of so many people from Gen Z, it will, believe me guys, all this will become even much, much worse, 1,000 times worse for Generation Alpha. And this is the reason, guys, why you must be careful as you get older, because same as many employers nowadays refuse to hire Gen Z because Gen Z is not reliable in the workforce, the same way in the future it is likely that when it comes to dating and relationships, you rather go for Gen Z girls, Gen Z women, than Gen Alpha women. This is strange because this will implicate that in the future, maybe you have to settle for leftover women of Gen Z when lots of Gen Z women are in their 30s and 40s and screwed their lives with promiscuity in their 20s and their so-called party years, and now they cannot find a partner anymore in their 30s and 40s. It's maybe the future men, if they don't go for AI girlfriends or sex robots, they have to settle for, if they would like to settle at all yet, settle for leftover Gen Z women rather than take a young Gen Alpha women, because the women of Generation Alpha will be much, much more screwed than the modern women you can see nowadays currently. But with all this said, guys, I hope you are informed now. Be aware that Generation Alpha, the time, the age when Generation Alpha takes over society, it will not be a piece of a cake, it will not be a walk in the park. There's a dark age ahead of us, I promise you, I even guarantee you. What are your thoughts and opinions about this? Do you also believe that this is probably the final nail in the coffin for society in general, for Western society when Generation Alpha takes over? What do you think, guys? You can share your opinions with me in the comments. And by the way, if you enjoy this content, please do me a favor if you have not done so already and subscribe to my channel because this helps a lot. Also hit the like button as it helps the YouTube algorithm and share the video if you can and want. And as soon as I have reached the first 1000 subscribers, I will have a surprise for you. At that time, I will crank out for free my ebook, Secrets of Natural Attraction. This ebook contains the best, I'm not kidding with you, the best dating strategy for our modern cooked dating market. And it especially works for you very well if you are an introvert. So don't miss this out, but if you don't want to wait for it, you can already purchase this ebook for only $5, including tax, in my online shop. The link is down below in the video description. Besides that, guys, when I reach 1000 subscribers, I will also still have another surprise for you. That's why make sure to help me help this channel hit the first 1000 subscribers by hitting the subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this content and hope to see you in the next videos. And besides that, I can say nothing else now but see you next time, my friends.